Hello students, welcome to Sreenath. In this video, we are going to discuss the second chapter, which is Nutrition in Animals from CBSE Class 7 Science. Okay students, my name is Karthik Nune. We are creating videos on all subjects from class 6 to class 8 right on this channel. So please do subscribe our channel, also like and share our videos. So without wasting time, we are going to start this chapter. Okay students, give me a like and start the session. So now what is our present chapter? Our present chapter name is Nutrition in Animals. Nutrition in Animals. So this is our present chapter. So in this chapter we are having 4 topics. So in the beginning we are having the overview of all the chapter. After that we will discuss each topic in detail. At the latter we are going to have the summary of the whole chapter. So this is the total procedure now. So we will start our overview. So basically nutrition in animals. So basically how nutrition will be in there and in the animals, that is our main chapter. So in this chapter we are having 4 topics. The first topic is different ways of taking food. So animals, they take food. So in how many ways they are taking food? So that is discussed in the first topic. So what are the different ways are there for taking food? So which animals are taking food in which ways? All animals are taking food like us, or there is some different ways animals taking their food? We are going to discuss it. And the second topic is the digestion in humans. So basically humans, how our digestion will be working. So what are the different organs or the juices or whatever it may be working for our to get our food digested. So that is the thing we are going to have discussed here. And what is the activity of every organ, we are going to learn about it. It's too big topic, which is the second topic, but don't worry, I will explain you clearly and shortly. So that all in the second topic. And what is the third topic? Here the third topic is digestion in grass eating animals. So basically in the animals, which animals are eating grass? Basically cows, buffaloes, goats, sheep, like those animals will eat grass. So in those grass eating animals, how digestion will be? So that will be you are going to discuss now, you are going to learn now. And the fourth topic is feeding and digestion in amoeba. So this is the structure of amoeba. What is its specialization? It is the single celled organism. In this organism, how digestion will be? So basically we are having so many organs, so many cells. Our multi-celled highly developed human being but the amoeba is a single celled organism. Then the single celled organism, how digestion will be, that's we are going to learn about it. So that's it students, that is the whole overview of this chapter. So this we are going to learn now. Now we are going to discuss each topic in detail. So what is the first topic students? The first topic is different ways. What it is? Different ways of taking food. So basically we will take food to get energy, So what are the different ways in taking food? So basically the mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. And bees and hummingbirds suck the nectar of plants. So basically bees and hummingbirds. So bees and hummingbirds, what they will do? Basically these together suck. What they will do? Suck the nectar. They will suck the nectar. So they will, how, in which way they are taking food? They are sucking the nectar from the plants. So bees and hummingbirds are taking food like that, and infants of humans and many other animals feed on mother's milk. So and infants, which means small newly born childs, and other animals and some other animals, what they will do? How they are taking food? They are taking food from, they are feeding by their mother's milk. So infants of humans and other animals, they feed on mother's milk. So what this is the one type of taking food, this is the another type of taking food. And what is the another type is snakes. What snakes will do? Snakes like python, they will swallow. So what snakes will do? They will swallow. So they will swallow. So snakes will swallow the food, and infants and humans and other animals will they will be feeding by their mother's milk, and bees and hummingbirds suck the nectar from the plants. So these are the different ways of taking food. Some animals are taking in different ways. And what other will do? So, and some aquatic animals, what are those? There are another thing, those are the aquatic animals. What are those? Aquatic animals. How they will eat or they will take food? Aquatic animals filter tiny food particles from floating nearby and feed upon them. So what they will do? They will filter tiny particles from water which will flow. Filter tiny particles which float on water. So they will, some aquatic animals will filter the tiny particles of food which float on water. So in this way they are taking food, and snakes are swallowing, and infants of human and other animals are taking mother's milk, and bees and hummingbirds are sucking nectars, and we are taking different types of food and different types of food. So different ways of taking food, and different animals are taking in different ways. Okay students, now what is our activity? So what you have to do is, this is the name of the animal: snail, ant, eagle, hummingbird, lice, mosquito, butterfly, housefly. So you know about you are familiar with these animals, and what you have to write here, you have to find out what kind of food they are eating, and one more thing is what mode of feeding. So how they are eating, what kind of food eating, and how they are eating. So that you have to filled in this your table. So this is an activity, do it with an interest, and do it with. So basically what are the basically scraping, chewing, siphoning, capturing and swallowing, sponging, sucking, etc. These are the different mode of feeding methods. Okay, basically sucking is done by honeybees, and we will chew. We are chewing. You will chew the bubbly gums like that. Snakes will swallow. So these are the mode of feeding methods you have to write here. And if possible, please extend this table and write the names of different animals which you know, which you are familiar, and you have to write the which kind of food they are eating, and you have to write the mode of feeding, how they are taking their food. So this is your activity. Do this. So this is about the first topic. Okay students, so this is all about the first topic. What are the different ways of taking food? Basically here there are some ways: scraping, chewing, siphoning, capturing and swallowing, sponging and sucking, sponging. So these are the different ways, and you have to find out which animal is taking which food and in which way, so that you have to write it. Okay students, so finally we are completed with our first topic. Now we are entering into the second topic. Now we will discuss second topic. Second topic, that is digestion in, what it is, digestion in humans. How digestion will be there in humans? Basically humans means we. So how we will take food? Sir, I know sir, we will eat food daily sir, with somebody eat with spoons and somebody eat with by their hand. So not I am talking not about that, but how we are taking, we are swallowing, does we swallowing, or does we chewing, or does we biting? So we are doing, some are doing all these things. And how food is digested in our body, what is the process of digestion, that we are going to learn about it. So basically we will take food through our mouth and digest it and utilize it. So we will take food to our mouth and we are getting energy from it. So basically this is the whole human digestion system. Basically we are taking food through this mouth and leaving it through the anus. So basically in this area, basically we are having buccal cavity with having teeth, and we are having tongue here, and also salivary glands which secretes saliva, and due to help of it we are grinding or we are biting, we are chewing our food. So this is the oesophagus, which is the food tract. Food is after taking through mouth, it will be goes on for traveling this tract. Okay, after that it will enter the stomach. After that here it will due to the here hydrochloric acid will be released, and here somewhat digestion will be, somewhat breakdown will be done, and after that the juices from gallbladder and from liver and from pancreas will be added, and after that it will goes into the small intestine. The small intestine, the food which was after digestion, it will be absorbed, and the remaining will be entered into the large intestine. After that it will be comes out in the through the anus. So this is the whole process. So now what will we do? We will discuss each phase of the digestion, each part. So the mouth and buccal cavity. So basically this is we are going to discuss the mouth and buccal cavity. What will be done in the mouth and buccal cavity, how they are working. So basically food is taken into body through the mouth. So we are taking our food through mouth. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. So what is ingestion? We know digestion. What is ingestion? Taking food into body. Taking food into body, we call it as ingestion. So we will take food through our mouth, we call the process ingestion. So what we'll do, we will chew the food with the help of the teeth. These are the teeth. With the help of these teeth we will chew it and we will break it also. So these will break into small pieces. So and each tooth is rooted into a separate socket in the gum. So basically each tooth is rooted into separate sockets. There is a separate socket here, it is having separate socket here, it is having separate socket here. And our tooth vary in appearance and perform different functions. So even though all are tooths, but all tooths are not doing the same function. Basically there are different types of tooths we are having. Different types of teeth are doing different functions here. So these are the molar teeth, and these are the premolar teeth, and these are the canine, and these are the incisors. So these are the different types of teeth. Okay, what happens means basically with the help of teeth we are biting and cutting, and we are piercing and tearing. So we are using our teeth for different purposes. All the teeth are what happened, all the teeth are rooted in separate sockets. Okay, and all are doing different functions. So our mouth has saliva glands which secrete saliva. So basically in the buccal cavity, along with the teeth, we are having tongue and we are having salivary glands. What is those salivary glands? So which secretes the saliva. So with the help of saliva we are going to break down the food. Okay, so now there is an activity, if you wish you can do it. So in the first test tube you are taking the boiled rice, and in the second test tube we have taken the rice after so we have chewed for 2 to 3 minutes. So 3 to 5 minutes we have chewed the food, and we have taken the chewed food into this test tube. And what we have done after that we have added 3 to 4 ml of water in both, and after that we have added 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution in both the test tubes. What you will observe is there is a color difference. There is a color difference in this test tube, but there is no color in the there is no change in the color in this test tube. Why? Because means basically this is the food, rice, boiled rice. It is having the starch. That's why its color has changed. So basically we have added iodine solution. So iodine solution, whenever we are using iodine solution to test, iodine solution is used to test starch. So for that they have used it. But in this case which is boiled rice is having starch, that's why its color is changed. But this test tube is not changed its color, which means there is no starch in it. But before boiling it is after boiling it is having the cooked rice is having starch, but after we are chewed it, and after with the help of our saliva we have chewed it, after that there is no starch in it. So finally what we are concluded from it is the saliva breaks down the starch into sugars. So the saliva which is secreted with the help of the salivary glands is breakdowning the starch into sugar. So what happened after the action of saliva? After the action of saliva, there is no starch in our food. That's why there is no color change here. So this is the about the function of our tooth and the salivary glands. We have discussed about teeth and we have discussed about saliva, and what is remaining, and we have to discuss about the tongue. All these are in the buccal cavity. Tongue. So basically tongue is a fleshy muscular organ. So it is a very muscular organ, and it is attached to the back of the buccal cavity, and it is free at front. It is front, it can move in all directions. You know your tongue will move in all directions. So basically we are using our tongue for talking. So besides we are using our tongue for talking, it will mix us with saliva to break down the food. So the food doing chewing and helps in swallowing food. So this tongue will be helped in chewing the food and for swallowing the food, and also for talking also, like that the tongue will be used. Okay students, so in addition to it will be used to taste the food. So many functions our tongue is doing. So tongue is a very good and very important muscular organ in our body. So basically tongue, and in different areas of tongue we will taste different tastes. So basically at this area you will taste the sweet, and at this area you will taste the bitterness, and at the sides you will taste the sour like taste and salty taste. So these are the different areas having tastes the different types of tastes. Okay students, so finally what we have completed about this buccal cavity along with the tongue and teeth and salivary glands. After that, what is there? It is the oesophagus. So food pipe or oesophagus. So the swallowed food passes into the food pipe or oesophagus. So after we have swallowing the food, after chewing it, it enters into the food pipe. So here is the food, it will travels like that, and it reaches the stomach, students. Okay, and this food pipe runs along the neck like that. It is along the neck, that food, and it is behind the chest. So basically, and it travels through neck and chest, and what happens? Food is pushed down by movement of the walls of food pipe. So due to the movement of this food pipe walls, food is pushed down. So actually this movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. At times the food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out. At sometimes what happened, food is not accepted by our stomach. So in that cases we will get warm things. Okay, so this is about the what it is. This is all about the food pipe or oesophagus. Food is traveled from mouth to stomach through this food pipe. And next thing is the stomach. So stomach is a thick walled bag, and it has a it will secrete hydrochloric acids. So stomach is a thick walled bag, and its shape is like flattened J. So if you clearly see the stomach, it is like a J. It's like a it is like a J. Okay students, it is like a J. And one more thing is that it receives food from the food pipe. So it takes food from the food pipe at one end and opens into small intestine. So it at one end there is food pipe, at another end it opens into small intestine. So and the inner lining of stomach is secretes some mucus and hydrochloric acid. So the stomach will release the hydrochloric acid and some digestive juices. And what this hydrochloric acid will do, this will kills many bacteria that enter along with food. So there is some bacteria which will enter along with food, and these stomach which by releasing hydrochloric acid, it is killing all those bacteria. And what happens, and makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps the digestion juices to act. So the digestive juices break down the proteins. So basically digestive juices will also be released in the stomach, and these digestive juices will break down the proteins into simpler substances. And after that, what is there? So we have completed the stomach, and it is opening into the small intestine. So we are going to discuss about small intestine. So the small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meters long. It is 7.5 meters long. It is too big, but it is arranged in our small stomach. So basically it receives secretions from liver and pancreas. Basically in the small intestine, from liver and from pancreas, juices will be released, and these juices will be entered into small intestine. Juices from liver and pancreas will be entered into small intestine. So okay students, and besides from liver and pancreas, it will also secrete some juices. So basically, what is the liver? Liver is in the reddish brown gland. It is in the color of reddish brown gland, and it is situated in the upper part of abdomen on the right side. So basically if you see the liver, that is on the upper side. Okay, that is on the upper side, on the right side, upper part on the abdomen on the right side, and it is the largest gland. What is the one more thing about the liver? Is the largest gland. It is the largest gland. Okay students, and what another thing, and it also, what it will do, it will secrete bile juice. So and this juice is stored, and this bile juice is stored in gallbladder. So basically the juice which is released by the liver is bile juice. That juice is stored in the gallbladder. Okay students, and the bile which is there plays an important role in the digesting the fats. This bile juice helps in digesting fats. Basically in the previous thing, proteins are breakdowns into simpler substances by the help of stomach juices. In the case of now, fats are basically, if you clearly observe these. So in this test, if you clearly observe, carbohydrates or starch, or we can go starch is carbohydrates or starch is digested or break down with the help of the saliva, and proteins are made into simpler substance with the help of the digestive juices in the stomach, and fats are digested or the breakdown in the help of the bile juice which is released by liver juice, students. So, and one more thing is the pancreas. Another thing, that is pancreas. What it will do? So pancreas is a large creamy colored gland located just below the stomach. So it is just below the stomach, and it is also somewhat large, and the pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats and proteins. So this juice, pancreatic juice, will act on carbohydrates, proteins and fats also. So this juice the juice which was released to a pancreas acting on carbohydrates, proteins and fats also, students, and changes them into simpler forms. So the partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine. So what happened after that? The partially digested food enters into the lower part of the small intestine. At this, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. So at the lower part of small intestine, juice will be released, and this juice will digest. So it will digestion all components of food. So it will digest all components of food. The carbohydrates gets broken into the simple sugars such as glucose. Fats, so basically carbohydrates break down into glucose, fats into fatty acids, and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. So in this way it is breaking down basically carbohydrates. How it is breaking down carbohydrates? That carbohydrates are breaking down into sugars, simple sugars. What are the examples? Like glucose, and fats. How fats are break down? Fats as fatty acids. They are breaking down into fatty acids, and glycerol. And how proteins are break down? They are break down into amino acids. What are those? Amino acids. So in this way, at the lower part of the small intestine, the intestine will release the juices, and those juices will digest all components. Okay students, so this is the a small intestine part. And now after that small intestine will complete the digestion process, and after that what we have to do? After our food is digested, it will be absorbed it will be taken to our all organs and all our body. So that work will be also be doing by our small intestine only. So absorption in the small intestine. So how absorption will be takes place in the small intestine? So basically the digestion food, what happens? It will now have to pass through the blood vessels. So this process is called absorption. The digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall of intestine. This process is called absorption. So from the walls of small intestine, it is entering into the blood vessels of the body. So this process we call it as the absorption. So basically the inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger like though. So basically small intestine, I will write here, this is the absorption. How absorption will be done? So for absorption, the small intestine. So the small intestine is having villi. What it is? Villi. So the small intestine is having thousands of finger-like outgrowths. There are thousands of finger-like outgrowths. We call it as the villi, singular villus. Singular form is villus. So what they will do? So basically those villis will increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food. So and it is having a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. So each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. So basically what it is doing is the villus, it is a plural form, and if you want singular form, that is villus, it is singular form. So what this villus will do? It will increase surface area for absorption. And what this villus will increase the surface area for absorption. And how it will be means, basically this villus is attached to, it is having a network of thin and small blood vessels. It is having network of thin and small blood vessels. So basically this villus is having the network of thin and small blood vessels. So what happened? The surface of the villi absorbs the digested from food material. So basically the villi surface will absorb the digested food materials. The absorbed food materials which are transported to blood vessels. So and to different organs. So after that the villus will having this the network of thin and small blood vessels. So basically it will absorb the food materials and it will send it to the blood vessels and to finally to the different organs, students. So in this way the process is going on. So now in the cells, glucose breakdowns with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and the energy is released. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed enters into the large intestine. Basically, whenever they are entering into the organs, after that this glucose In addition with oxygen, it will produce carbon dioxide. I will write here. It will produce carbon dioxide plus energy. What will it produce? Carbon dioxide plus energy. So this energy we are using to talking to any activities. So in this process, energy is released, and after that the food that remains undigested, so there is some food which is undigested, that will enters into the large intestine. So we have completed the small intestine part, and now we have entered into the large intestine part. How it will be working? So large intestine is wider and it is shorter. It is 1.5 meters only, but the small intestine is very long. It is almost about 7 meters. So what its function? It will do absorb the water and some salts. It will absorb water and some salts, and what will do? And it remaining waste process into the rectum. So what happened? It will absorb just water and some salts, and it will pass as the remaining into the rectum and remains there as the semi-solid phases. And these phases matter is remain to anus, and these undigested food will enter into the anus, and they are time to time they will get out of from our body, and we call it as the digestion. The sending or the removal of time to time removal of undigested food from our body through anus is called digestion, and the process of taking food into our body is called ingestion, and the process of breaking down our food is called digestion. Okay students, these are the three beautiful words. I will show you the image. So basically after that it has entered into large intestine, it is opening into the rectum, and it is opening into the anus, and the food is going out. So students, we have completed the second topic also. Now we are entering the third topic. What is the third topic? The third topic is digestion is grass eating animals. So now we are going to writing the third topic. We are going to writing it in the next page. So what is it? Digestion. So we have seen how digestion in our human beings, and now digestion in grass eating animals. There are some animals which eat grass, and how digestion will be done in grass eating animals. That is the thing we are going to discuss here. So basically if you see that cows and buffaloes and other grass eating animals, what they will do? They will chewing the food always, even though they are not taking the food. Whenever there is a free time for us, they always chew their food continuously. If you see the cows or buffaloes, so why they are doing it? Why they are always chewing it? So we are going to know it. So basically what they will do is, at first they quickly swallow the grass. And store it in the part of a stomach called rumen. So basically in the beginning, eat grass. They swallow grass, and after it is stored in stomach. It is stored in stomach. What is our name called? Stored in stomach called rumen. There is a part of stomach. Stored in part of stomach. We call it is the rumen. So they will quickly swallow the grass, and it is stored in the part of stomach, which is called as the which name is called as the rumen. So after that, what happening here? The food gets partially digested and is called cud. So what happened? Whenever they are swallowing the grass, it is stored in the stomach. We call it as the rumen, and after that it is partially digested. We call it as the cud. So after that, but later the cud returns to the mouth. So but what happens after that? It again returns to the mouth. So mouth. Here there is a mouth. So with the help of the mouth, they are swallowing the food. So again it comes to the mouth, and what happens? And in small lumps, and animals chews it. So with small lumps, with small quantities, we call it as small lumps. So again cud returns to its mouth through small lumps, which small quantities of cud is again taken into the mouth. And what happened? And animals chews it. This process is called rumination. We call this process the rumination. Rumination. So what is rumination means? Taking back food from stomach. Taking back food from stomach to mouth and chewing. We call this process the rumination. So, and these animals called as ruminants. We call those animals as ruminants, and these animals as ruminants. So basically animals which are doing the process of rumination, which means after swallowing their food, and that food will be goes into their stomach, and in their stomach what happened, it will be partially digested. So we call that partially digested food as the cud. And again what happens, this partially digested cud in the small quantities, in the small lumps, it is again taken into the mouth, and again it starts swallowing the food. So this process is called the rumination, and the animals which are following this rumination process, we call it as the ruminants. Okay students, and why this process is there, why they have to swallow once again means we're going to know that fact or that reason behind it. So the grass is rich in cellulose. So basically in the case of grass there is cellulose, and it is a type of carbohydrate. So basically we are seeing this in the cattle like deer and cow. So bacteria present in rumen helps in digestion of cellulose. So the bacteria which is present in the rumen, what will it do? It will helps in digestion cellulose. Basically many animals including humans cannot digest cellulose. So basically what is the main problem is, including us and many animals cannot digest cellulose. We can't digest cellulose, but in the grass there is a lot of cellulose. So it is a one type of carbohydrate, so we have to digest it. So how we can digest it? Basically our digestion system can't digest it, and even though animals digestion system is also can't digest it. So what is the another process, another option is, basically there is some bacteria in the rumen that will helps to break down or digest cellulose. Animals like horses, rabbit, etc. have a large sac-like structure called cecum between the oesophagus and small intestine. So animals which are like horses and rabbits, as they having separate sac-like structure called cecum between the oesophagus and small intestine. So the cellulose of the food is digested here by the action of the certain bacteria. So some bacteria which is presented in the cecum will digest the cellulose. This cecum is some new structure, some new organ or new part which is like a large sac-like structure, and it is located between the oesophagus and small intestine. Here by the action of certain bacteria the cellulose is digested. So basically this is not present in our humans. So far you learnt about animals which possess the digestive system, but there are many small organisms which do not have a mouth and a digestive system. Basically until now what we have discussed how humans are digesting their food and how grass eating animals are digesting their food. So for the digestion process they need a buccal cavity, saliva glands, and oesophagus, different types of bile juices, and different types of if you consider the animals, there are some bacteria, and there are some new parts like cecum and some large like structures like cecum, and some other liver, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine. So many highly developed organs are there, and these organs are multicellular organs. So many cells are combined, so many large millions, trillions of cells are there in those organs. So by using that large millions of cells, they are the organs are created, and these organs together do so much of lot of work to digest our food. But there are some animals which are not having any organs, which are not having millions of cells, but they are having only single cells and only few cells. But those animals are also taking their food, and those also animals are also they are digesting our food, digesting their food, and those animals also excreting their food. So this is very interesting thing now, so that we have to learn now, that we have to know now. Why? Because we are having so many organs, so many well-built organs which are made with so much of millions of trillions of cells, but but some animals which are having only one cell and they are doing this all processes. So it is very interesting, students. So that we are going to learn now. So we have completed the third topic and we are now entering into the fourth topic. That is the thing we are going to learn now. That is the what is the fourth topic? Fourth topic, that is digestion in amoeba. What it is? Digestion in amoeba. What is amoeba? Digestion, feeding and digestion in amoeba. So what is the topic name? That is feeding and digestion in amoeba. So this is the one we are going to discuss now. So basically, what is amoeba? Amoeba is a microscopic single-celled organism. So it is a single-celled organism. It is having only one single cell. So basically, amoeba is a single-celled organism. Single-celled organism. It is having just only one and only one cell. Organism which is found in pond water. Basically, you will be seeing this amoeba in pond water, and it is having what is structure? Its image is like that. So it is having the cell membrane, a rounded dense nucleus. It is also having the nucleus. So this is the nucleus and it is the cell membrane. It is having and many small bubble like vacuoles. It is having vacuoles in its cytoplasm. So basically in its cytoplasm you will see some vacuoles. We call it as the food vacuoles. These are the food vacuoles. Many vacuoles are there in its cytoplasm. In addition to it, amoeba constantly changes its shape and position. So basically what amoeba will do? Amoeba will have is a single-celled organism. It changes its shape and position. It is able to shape and its changes shape and position. So it is having nucleus and it is having vacuoles, okay, and it is having cell membrane like that, and it pushes out one or more finger-like projections called pseudopodia or false feet for movement and capture of food. So there is a one thing which is very important, that is pseudopodia. What is pseudopodia? What is the use of it? So it is having finger-like finger-like projections. It is having finger-like projections. So amoeba is having a pseudopodia. It is having finger-like like projections. What is the use of those? Means those will be used for taking food and to move. So they will be used to move, and they are also used, those pseudopodia used to move, and those pseudopodia is also used to take food. So this is having the finger-like projections. Okay, students. And amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms. What does amoeba will takes as a food? It will takes food of amoeba. What is food of amoeba? Amoeba food. So what is the food of amoeba? If anybody asks you, or in the exams if they asked you what is the food of amoeba, then don't tell it like, does it like sambar idli, does it like chapati, like that. No, it does not like any sambar idli or chapati. It does not eat those, and it does not digest those. It is very, very small. So what is the food? What is the food of amoeba? That is the small, what are those? Those are the microscopic organisms. Microscopic organisms. So food of amoeba is the some microscopic organism. It takes some microscopic organisms as the food. So whenever it senses food, what happens? It pushes out a pseudopodia. Basically we have told you about pseudopodia, which is finger-like projections. Whenever it senses there is a food, there is a small microorganisms, then it will pushes out its pseudopodia around the food particle and angles it. So it will so if you see, whenever there is a food particle, that pseudopodia will comes and capture the food particle. and takes it into its body. So the food become trapped in a food vacuole. So basically in the food vacuole, the food will be tracked. Digestive juices are secreted into the food vacuole. So it is captured by the food vacuole, and digestive juices are released in the food vacuole, and finally what happens, the food is break down and get digested into simple substances in the food vacuole, and gradually the digested food is absorbed. So in the food vacuole only, after release of the digested juices, the food is digested and it is absorbed into the body also. So the absorbed substances are used for growth. The absorbed substances are used for growth, maintenance and multiplication. For reproduction, for maintenance and for growth, it will be used. And how undigested will be goes out, the undigested residue of the food is expelled outside by vacuole. Same through that vacuole only, that undigested food is expelled out. So the basic process of digestion of food and release of energy is the same in all animals. Basically the process of digestion of food and release of energy is somewhat same in all animals. So this is all about this chapter, students. Finally we have completed our chapter, students. Completed chapter, completed. So what we'll now do, so our chapter is completed, students. Now we are going to have the summary session. So we are having a quick summary of the whole chapter, students. Basically the chapter name is nutrition in animals. Its first topic is different ways of taking food. So basically bees and hummingbirds takes food by they are sucking the nectar, and infants of human and other animals, they will take a feed on mother's milk, and snakes will swallow, aquatic animals will filter tiny particles. Okay, there are the different methods of feeding. They are taking food, which is scraping, chewing, siphoning, capturing, swallowing and sponging and sucking. These are different modes or different ways of taking food. That is all about the first part. That is the next thing is about the digestion in humans. How humans and how in humans food is digested. Basically food is entered into the buccal cavity, in that with the help of the teeth and with the help of the tongue and with the help of the saliva, the food is digested, and the carbohydrates or the starches break down into the some simple sugars in the mouth. After that it will enters into the esophagus. The food is traveled to this food pipe, and after that it will opens into the stomach. In the stomach hydrochloric acid will be released, and it will make the all the foods acidic, and it will kills all the bacteria. After that what happens, it is entering into the small intestine through to even though the small intestine and the liver and pancreas will open into the small intestine, and liver will release the bile juice and will be stored in the gallbladder, and whenever required it is sent into the small intestine. After that even though after that pancreas will also release some juices, pancreatic juices into the small intestine. So basically in the small intestine food is digested. At the lower parts of the small intestine the food is completely digested, and food is also absorbed at the lower part of the intestine. After that it will enters into the large intestine. In the what is the duty of large intestine is basically here water and some salts are absorbed from the food. After that what is the remaining undigested food, that will be transported to the rectum and finally to the anus, and will expand and it will goes away from the body. So this is the whole process of the digestion system in humans. Okay students, basically this liver will secrete bile juice that will break down the fats. Okay, and basically pancreas pancreatic juice will break down carbohydrates, proteins and fats also. And lower part of the small intestine what will do, it will release the juice, and complete digestion will be done. After that carbohydrates are break down into glucose, fats are into fatty acids, proteins into amino acids. After that absorption will be done. So basically in the process of absorption in the small at the skin or the inner layer of the small intestine contains the villi. So it is having the finger-like structures. It will increase the surface area of absorbing. So it is having the network of thin and small blood vessels. So for the food materials which are absorbed through villi, and they are transported to the blood vessels, and these blood vessels it is transported to all organs, and after going to organs it will be break down there, it will be that glucose which is transferred to it is reacted with oxygen, finally carbon dioxide and energy is released. After that, what happened? After that, the undigested food will goes into the large intestine, and that the process and that large intestine absorbs the salt and some water, and it will be released into the anus, and finally it is get out of it. So that is the whole process. And next thing is the third topic, that is digestion in grass eating animals. So basically in the grass eating animals, like cows, buffaloes, they will take food through mouth and they will swallow, and the swallowed food is stored in the stomach, part of a stomach, we call that part as the rumen. After that, the food is partially digested, and we call that partial digested food as curd. And after that, what happens? Small amounts of this curd, which we call as a small lumps, is again taken into the mouth, and again swallowing is done. So the process of taking food back to the mouth, we call it as the rumination, and the animals which follow or which are doing rumination are called the ruminants. So this is what which is done in the digestion of grass eating animals. So why this is happening is basically grass is containing cellulose which the animals and even the human beings cannot digest it. So we need some special bacteria in the rumen that will digest it. So for that, some animals is having some more extra organ that is cacum, which is having a large sac-like structure. In that cacum there is some bacteria which is digesting the cellulose. Okay, in this way that food is digested in grass eating animals. So I have completed third topic also. Now the fourth topic is feeding and digestion in amoeba. So basically amoeba is a single-celled organisms. It can changes its shape and size, shape and position, and it is having the pseudopodia, which is having finger-like projections. With the help of it will take the food, and with the help of food it will move also. So basically what is the food of amoeba? That is microscopic organisms. Whenever there is a food, what it will do, it will the food pseudopodia will goes out, and it will captures the food and enters into the amoeba, and it is enters into the vacuole, and in the vacuole digestive juices are released, and food is digested in the food vacuole, and the food is also absorbed in the food vacuole. After that, the remaining food which is undigested is expelled outside by the vacuole only. So this is the process, this is the whole digestion in the amoeba. So finally chapter is completed, our summary is also completed. Students, if you like the video, please like and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Sreenath. Have a nice day, keep smiling, bye bye.